guys. Okay, so I have a number of topics to discuss in this video. Okay, I wanted to pinpoint certain ones and have a different topic for each label. That might happen, but I understand that the new guidelines and the new rules and new requirements are for us to try to include as much information in one video as possible, which is like I don't have a problem with it. But some of my videos I'm going to have to separate them because I want you to focus on each topic, and I don't want anyone to say, oh, well, what was that topic he was talking about, or whatever. Then they have to go back to a video and try to find where what I was saying, and they're never like able to find it. So let me just go ahead and start it off with this first one. Okay, now I might include it in different topics and different things like that, but I am going to just go ahead and try my best to do what I can. But let me go ahead and just discuss Amanda Seales from the daytime TV show on The Real. Um, I was going through my phone yesterday, and I seen something really funny. Let me just get it like let me just help y'all recognize something. Amanda Seales is a comedian. She's a TV host, and she's also a multitude of other things, also in the entertainment industry. Amanda Seales has actually been a part of The Real for I think about a month or two, probably a little bit longer than that. And the last video I made about Amanda Seales, she actually demonstrated a little bit about what she thought was considered quote unquote or just quote racist. Okay, I hate to say that, but I had to be honest to you. She's a really, really good person to identify. She's not a racist. She's able to identify what racism is. And so, whenever she's able to identify what it is, then people may consider her to be racist, which is impossible. I mean, it's not impossible. It's possible, but she's not a racist. She's just sick and tired of what she can identify in certain people, and she's able to handle it in an adult manner. So let me just say this: I was going through my phone, and it says that Amanda Seales literally, and I was rolling. It says that Amanda Seales, and I'm going to go back in my phone and read exactly word for word. Okay, it says Amanda Seales gathered extra TV host following awkward exchange. Now, this is really, really funny. It's not funny, but it kind of is funny because the way she said that she had to gather, like gather her together, like come for her, come get her together. I'm gathering all your information. I'm gathering everything that you're trying to come for me for, and you gathered, and you're gathered. There's no other if, ands, or buts away about it. So I thought that was pretty funny. Um, but it also goes down, and I'm going to read it to you. The TV, the extra TV host, her name is Jennifer Lamers. Now I'm just going to read it to you, and I want you to just bear with me because you're going to get the story, and I'm going to explain why things are happening the way it's happened, and period. Nothing else, no sugarcoat or anything like that. It says it says if "don't come for me unless I've sent for you" was a person, it would be Amanda Seales. Chill. Things got awkward on a recent episode of Extra with host the show's co-host Jennifer Lamers and Amanda Seales as the cast of The Real made an appearance to celebrate their 1000th episode. Okay. It says, as we all know, Amanda is The Real's newest permanent co-host and has already been with the team for a little more than a month. Okay, that is true. I said it's been about a month or two. Now, it said that was something that Lamers awkwardly pointed out to Amanda, which clearly rubbed her the wrong way. Now, there's nothing wrong with, pointing certain things out, but if someone can pick up a certain type of vibe, that's the thing. Amanda was able to pick up a certain type of vibe. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, if you pick up a certain type of vibe, you pick up a certain type of vibe. If something wasn't that important, it wouldn't be mentioned. But if you continue to point something like that out to refreshing someone, a news or a topic that someone's already aware of, then someone may be able to feel some type of way because they feel a certain type of energy trying to occur there. Okay, now that's just straight off the bat. Um, I mean, that's the sarcasm that I was telling you guys about that you have to deal with. That some people don't really catch on to, but only the intelligent, like Amanda Seals, will be able to catch on to it. Lonnie, however, y'all all know how I feel about Lonnie. Ain't no hard feelings or nothing like that, but you know how I feel about Lonnie sometimes. But Lonnie was able to catch on to it as well, and I looked on, so she actually grabbed her hand. But I finished that off. But if you look at um, the other co-host on the reel, I actually see um, another person's reaction by the look on their face. But I'm going to get to that. Let me finish the rest of the story so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. Now, it says let me go. Amanda kind of laughed it off, and video of the awkward exchange showed Amanda's host Lonnie Love comfort her by squeezing her hand, like I said before. Okay. Then it says, later they got over that little hurdle. Lamers then directed a question to Amanda, suggesting that she had butted heads a few times since joining the reel with her other co-host, Jeannie Mai. Now, for you to sit there and point out the negative part of someone over and over again clearly shows that you want a reaction and you want that person to feel what you feel. Okay. Now, we all know that that is the real and it's all about keeping it real. That does make a lot of sense, but there is a point in time when you are being a professional, and I told you all about Lonnie and how she acts sometimes. Um, sometimes you just have to know, or not sometimes, all the times, you should know when to be a little bit mature about the conversations that you hold against another person, or your thoughts and your views, your opinions about another person, or things that may not be that important that could lead to something else in a negative way. You might want to leave that to yourself, but I'll get to that later on, or maybe I'm not, because you guys should already know. Let me just get one thing clear about that, and let me wrap that whole thing up. Okay, so if you click on YouTube and you click on, go to YouTube, click Amanda Seals, like type Amanda Seals, and you click on her name, and you look at the list that pulls up, and you're going to see a lot of discriminatory comments and confrontations and conversations and things having to deal with racism. Not saying that Amanda is racist, but you see a lot of things on there, lots of channels, and that has videos acknowledging Amanda fighting for the right of African Americans having a voice and getting justice for racism and discrimination that has happened here in America. So, as you can see, a lot of people who aren't of color some people do not really want to hear about the racism comments or the justice, or trying to get clarity about why one individual feel this way about another individual. That is true. Okay, not everyone wants to hear it. Now, you might be a person who isn't racist who don't want to hear it. Then you might be a person who is and don't want to hear it also. But you can imagine what type of feeling um, Amanda felt as a woman of color when Jennifer Lamers came to the show and she pointed out negative things that reflected her characteristic and her career path um, based on the subjects that she was able to point out about Amanda. Now, for someone like I said before, some people, and these are for some, and it's not for all, but a lot of people who aren't of color do not want to hear other people talk, other people of color mention anything that has to deal with racism or discrimination, because it opens up the eyes and the doors of other people for them to think a little bit deeper. And we all know what African Americans have went through for centuries, okay? And even still today. So a lot of people who aren't of color do not want you to bring up the past or racism situations because it brings more attention on for the people who aren't considered racist. Um, they are now looked upon in another way. And it's not that, you know, some people are doing it on purpose, you know, or out of spite, but some people are literally they literally want information, they literally want justice, they literally want to know what happened, and that is causing an issue with some individuals. Now, not to be picky and to point sides or anything like that, you know, that's not me. I'm not the one that points sides, but I am the one to point out what I'm able to identify because I'm also not racist, but I'm able to identify what racism is as well. Um, you can imagine, not see, I don't know anything about Jennifer Lamers, but if there is a person of color who's able to identify the type of spirit of another person, then let that be because you have more than one female that was there in that room who was able to pick up the certain type of energy from Jennifer, okay? And they still continued to go on with the show and keep her there on the show for that episode. So that was just respect, that was mature enough. But however, Amanda did stop Jennifer Lamers. So if you think about that, there is nothing wrong with that. You know, she didn't curse her out. She didn't go out of character. We all know Amanda can get there. So she did not get there. Okay. She gathered her together so she would be able to speak correctly and say the right things while she was broadcasting themselves all together. Um, I honestly just think that well, I don't want to say think. I guess I can say think because I don't know Jennifer Lamers all the way. Um, but you can just imagine what how fed up Jennifer Lamers were if she were considered against her or just racist. We don't know. I don't know. Some of you may know. But you can imagine what Jennifer Lamers felt about knowing Amanda Seales' background, about speaking up and bringing justice up front for the African American community who's been discriminated against throughout basically her entire career, and being able to have a person who wasn't of color around women of color at that moment. You can imagine how she felt to be in that presence and that she felt like she needed to basically um, make herself feel superior enough so she won't be attacked. So some people have to bring other people down to let them know that they're superior. Now, not that that has happened and not that that is true, but Jennifer Lamers did bring some negative things down, which it was other reasons and other things to say about the cast on the real, versus saying something, that was their 1,000th episode. That should have been positive energy. Nothing positive, was really said basically until it got mentioned from the women of color. It shouldn't have been nothing negative at all. It should have been all positive. Congratulations. What do you look forward to doing? Things like that, But she was, so you can kind of see what I'm saying about Jennifer Lamers, at least say something positive, ask some questions, not state the negative. And I know you're a reporter and things like that, but you have to understand that they were able to pick up a certain type of vibe, and only a person of color would be able to identify that because they have been through the pain. Now, I'm not saying that a person that isn't of color cannot identify the pain and the vibe, but just to know that they would not even stop, they wouldn't have stopped Jennifer from continuing to speak if they did not feel a certain type of way from whenever she was explaining how she felt about one of the cast members. Bottom line. So that's about Amanda Seales. The other thing I wanted to talk about is you can't have your cake and eat it too. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay, now let me just say this. Now, I thought it was pitiful when I read that. And whenever I read that online or hear people say that, I just think automatically that, that's just a way of you getting a piece of what I have because you don't have. And, some people, are giving people. I'm a giving person. But whenever I hear people say that, it's almost like, why shouldn't I have something that I, have? You're just saying that I can't have what I have. Or that's like saying, I'm saying you can't have what you have. Everything you have to share. If it's for you and your benefit, then I'm pretty sure, it's not rocket science that you don't need to explain yourself to anybody else about why you should have what you have, unless you owe someone something, or you have children and you have to feed them and you're eating in front of them, or you have a gift that is for you. If it's for you and your benefit, okay, why would you not? What's the problem of you keeping it? What's the problem of you having it? Now, I thought it was pretty funny, but everyone is like so used to hearing that term. I honestly, thought that was the most, selfish way to put it, but they say it's kind of selfish if you disagree with that term. I honestly do not think it's selfish at all. And a certain extent, it's kind of selfish depending on what you're saying. But a lot of people have been using that term the wrong way, and I definitely disagree with the whole thing. This is what I got. It says, you can't have your cake and eat it. It is a popular English idiomatic proverb or figure of speech. The proverb literally means you cannot simultaneously retain your cake and eat it. Once the cake is eaten, it is gone. Now, simultaneously means at the same time. So you can't have your cake and eat it at the same time and still have it. Duh. Of course. But if you have some cake and you want to eat the whole thing, someone says you can't have your cake and eat it too, then what are you talking about? Because it's my cake and I'm going to eat it. I have it. It's mine. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're talking about. People have blown that content all out of proportion and don't know what they're talking about. Now, yes, I did look up the definition of have. To have means to possess, own, or hold. Okay? So, now if you eat it, you have eaten your cake. Okay? You have it to eat. Seriously. It's past and present. Okay, so what people don't understand is that they're thinking you're being selfish by disagreeing with that term, but they're not understanding the term. Um, you know, the way it's written is the way that they think it is, but the way that they are trying to get you to do something totally different, which was share, is selfish and thinking of their self, but they're thinking you're being selfish, but it's yours. Okay, so yes, I will eat my own cake, and thank you very much. Um, the other one is, I thought that was pretty silly. You commonly the common saying "you can't have your cake and eat it too" was originally phrased "you can eat your cake and have it too." This conveys the meaning of the expression much more clearly, since once you eat a cake, you can no longer have it. That duh, it's gone. You ate it. But yeah, but when someone literally says that, if I go to the store and I buy something and someone's like, well, can I get some? But like, I don't have enough. Well, you got enough for me and this, that, and the third. I'm like, I have enough for you. Um, I'm pretty sure I can share with you, but right now, it's just not the time, because I don't even see myself asking for anyone else's things and then getting upset about it. That's kind of childish, unless you owe someone or something like that. That's like totally different. So yeah, that is weird. Okay. Oh yeah, and guess what? I had another wet dream. It was last night or the night before, but I was going to sleep and I was having a dream, and in my dream, somebody literally had their hand like on me, and I was fully erected in my dream. And then next thing you know, I had these thoughts in my head, and it was a Hispanic person. It was a Hispanic person, and they turned me on so much, and I felt so hot, and I got really erected. And the next thing you know, I was in my sleep, and I was like, mmm, 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 mmm. And that's how it was. And then I was so excited. And then I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I hope nobody heard me. I don't think nobody did, but nobody in that building wouldn't have said anything, because it was a little bit more like embarrassing. Only a jackass would have said something. But I don't think they heard me. And I don't even think I made any noise. But I know in my sleep, I was making that noise. I was like, mm, mm, mm. Mm, like that, like I was like, it was that freaking good. But whew, I woke up next morning, felt refreshed. I was so happy. So yeah, that was the wet dream, and I got 15 minutes left on here. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. I think I'm gonna wrap this up because I don't know how to put it in my title just yet. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna come back and do it later. Bye, guys. See you later on the next one.